David Beckham propelled himself to superstardom 20 years ago with his goal from the halfway line for Manchester United at Wimbledon. David Beckham's goal came in the final minute of a 3-0 for Manchester United at Selhurst Park. Cantona and Denis Irwin scored the other goals as Manchester United got off to a winning start. Manchester United lost just 5 games that season and won the league by 7 points from Newcastle. The summer of 1996, when David Beckham thought he would announce himself by pinging one in from 50 yards out, was a happy time. England, despite eventual heartache, had successfully hosted the Euros and had even played well. The St. George's Cross was reclaimed from the right and the country baked in seemingly never-ending days of sunshine. The IRA did their best to ruin things with a bombing in Manchester in June that year, but in football and music terms, all was well in the world. One of the few negatives on August 17, 1996 was that the Spice Girls, with Beckham's future wife, were riding high at the top of the charts with Wannabe, an explosion of girl power in a sterling Britpop year that had the likes of Dodgy, Suede, Blur and the Blue Tones while, of course, Oasis enjoyed a stint at no one. This was the era before Twitter, and the suspense built all day after a word filtered through via the radio, at first, that a young lad they were all talking about at United had hit one of the goals of the century. It had to be seen to be believed, listeners were told. While back then we all had to wait for match of the day, now it would have been around the world within seconds, pilfered by a teenager and posted for all to see on social media. In 1996, all we could do was wait and maybe stick on the PlayStation to kill some time. The BBC producers, perhaps mindful of viewing figures, kept us waiting. First billing went to big spending Middlesbrough, who had added Italy legend Fabrizio Rivani to their ranks, and their home opener against Liverpool. The White Feather struck an exquisite hat-trick in a 3-3 draw which has largely been forgotten outside of the Northeast thanks to what was unfolding in London. Next up was Everton vs Newcastle United, followed by trips to 2 extinct stadiums for Derby County and Leeds United at the baseball ground and Sunderland against Leicester City in Roker Park last year. Finally, with last orders called at the pubs, it was off to sunny Selhurst Park, which appeared to be housing more fans of United than of the home team. All the talk was of United new boy Jordi Cruyff and of Eric Cantona, not long back from the ban he picked up for his own unique take on kicking races out of football on the same meadow. Cruyff almost scored his own worldie and Cantona was booked for the obligatory today. It would have been a red studs up challenge you always see when watching old matches. Beckham's moment, when it eventually came in injury time and with a confident United already 2-0 up, may also go down as one of John Motson's best. Motti, who should have been asked for the numbers for the fledgling national lottery, greeted the strike with the following prophetic assessment: David Beckham, surely an England player of the future, scores a goal that will be talked about and replayed for years. Not long after, the camera cut to a delighted Sir Alex Ferguson. The United manager looked youthful, if somewhat like an uncle trying to be down with the kids, with a ludicrously baggy United t-shirt tucked into a granite high pair of smart trousers. All that was left was for Cruyff, thunder suitably stolen, to offer a somber congratulations, Gary Pallister to reveal he had spotted Don's keeper Neil Sullivan straying off his line, which conjures visions of the centre-half trying to do similar to Beckham, and Trevor Brooking to heap praise on his fellow East Londoner. 20 years on, it seems a fitting way for Beckham to announce himself. The man who would go on to rock a sarong, pull off a mohawk and pose in his undies for all to see, attempting the outrageous and pulling it off with ease. We may not have known it at the time, but it was a crystal clear sign of what was to come.